Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Give you a quick view of downtown Carlsbad. And if you've ever watched my videos, you know how busy a town this really is. This is a beachside community. It's next to the ocean. It's very nice here, very upscale, very safe, extremely safe. So it's a I'd say one of the more affluent communities in the country, if not the world. And for this to be this closed down this time of year is really surreal. It's almost kind of like you're in another place in time, because for the years I've lived here, it just doesn't seem like the right place. So anyway, today we had the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin is now completed its halving, which happens every 4 years, where the mining rewards become less, and Bitcoin starts us off again anew. So we'll see how that works out. I think Bitcoin's going to be very good to us here in the future, and it has been very good so far. I mean, the only thing that's really prospered during this time of COVID has been Bitcoin. I mean, it's been up and it's been down, but it's been way up in a time of crisis when everything else is really in free fall. Bitcoin has been the only thing that's kind of been somewhat of a generator of income, or somewhat of a generator of money. In fact, there for a while, I was for one Bitcoin in the month of March, or actually did I purchase right at the end of March for the month of up until here, just before it took its big dive at 10,000. I mean, I was up over 30%, 35, 40% in some of these really awful times where everybody's just like, everything's falling apart, and Bitcoin's up 35, 40%. So I think that the Bitcoin time is now. Of course, definitely EOS time is now. I mean, EOS is $2 and some cents, $2.47, something like that. And really nowhere to go but up. It's like someone made a comment on Chase's video last night about the application doing well. And we've got over 500 downloads, and we've built something that works. I mean, that was the whole thing during the ICO market. Nothing worked. Nobody had built anything. We actually built something, and it actually does work. In fact, there was a challenge today for someone to look at a Lamborghini in Dubai. So we have actually an application. You can download it. I'll put the links below in Apple and Google Play. That is the answer for what everybody asked for a couple of years ago when they were throwing tens and not hundreds of millions of dollars at ideas, and nothing really came about. Nothing really came to fruition, whatever that word is. And we actually built something, and it does work, and people do it every day. In fact, we think we got 2 or 3 downloads today. So when the market pops back, which it will, things like EOS, things like the challenge application, things like the Bitcoin are going to be incredibly well positioned for that event, when it takes off. And believe me, Bitcoin at 6,500, where's it at today? 8,500 is a bargain. It's just a bargain, in my opinion. It's just a total bargain, considering the fact that you have a derivatives market that's in the trillions, hundreds of trillions of dollars. You have a stock market that probably will jump back here fairly quickly because of all the stimulus that's been pumped into it. Currencies around the world that, as we all know, are just artificially inflated by that's the definition of fiat, is paper money. So, and when you actually have Bitcoin now, it's getting harder and harder to mine Bitcoin. So the rewards are higher, but at the same time, it's more difficult to mine. The algorithm makes it more difficult, which is ironic that Bitcoin makes this difficult change in their algorithm right at a time where the United States and the world is probably in one of its lowest spots. And then, of course, in 2007-8, with the financial crisis, that's when Bitcoin was invented. So, interesting things. I mean, there's interesting parallels going on with Bitcoin. And you got to say that Bitcoin has about as stable of financial presence as anything. It's been around for 10 years. It has a lot of usage. It's a great place to store wealth. And I could see Bitcoin, easily at $150,000, $200,000 very, very soon. I don't know exactly how soon, because I don't follow it as closely as I follow some of the other stuff. But of course, I like Bitcoin And I think Bitcoin's going to be a tremendous value, or tremendous, like I say, a few $100,000 here very soon. That would be my prediction. I've listened to a lot of people on that, and I think that's a pretty accurate prediction. It's a couple $100,000. And where would that leave EOS? I mean, come on, $100 for EOS, very, very easy to do, especially if this market turns around at all. And I think it will. In fact, I not only think it will, I know it will. Crypto market will be going up. Stock market probably will be going up. And who knows what they're going to do with the stimulus? I mean, people are going to continue to get checks. There's just no other way around it. You can't. If you want to have your population survive, you're going to have to feed it. And if people aren't working, and people aren't doing anything, and you've interrupted their lives, this total interrupter with COVID, and also the psychology what goes forward with COVID. You don't know how people are going to react to being out in the streets in the future. So it may be a psychological holdover from this COVID experience as well that may have a lot of ramifications for a long time. So they'll have to watch this very, very closely as far as how much money they put into the economy. And quite frankly, I think they're willing to do it. And we'll just see how that turns out. But I think everything will probably go up. It's kind of like if you go through a storm, the beginning of the storm is really frightening. Of course, in the middle of the storm, you're terrified. And then after the storm passes, you feel like you've, if you're still around and everything's still intact, and your family's fine and your family's fine, you feel like you survived. So it makes you want to be happier. So if you've survived this all, then you're happy. And if you're happy, then you're probably wanting to get things back to normal. And I think that's what's going to happen. People will turn it around very quickly. Generally after events like this, especially this one, because this is a very devastating event, but depending on how everything works out. I mean, I hope everything starts getting back to normal. I don't see that as many people are getting sick as there were in the beginning. And hopefully the numbers are going down. I think they are going down. I see where Elon Musk has opened his factories up in Alameda County, and hopefully they don't do anything to Elon. I think Elon did the right thing by opening up the factories. I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that, but I think Elon is making a case for the fact that, we're probably through the worst of this. And I think that would be a very good argument. You can make a very good argument that we're through the worst of this. So hopefully Elon stays in California, and they continue to operate without anybody getting hurt or anything happening to him. So if Elon stays open, and I think they will let him stay open, because if they shut him down, then they're just really going to make a lot of people upset and angry. And I understand a lot of people are worried, and they have fear of the COVID virus. And of course, when you look at, I posted a video a couple days ago what happened to me. I was on a ventilator. When you go on a ventilator, please believe me, it's not a fun experience. And if you want to project something that people do not want to get, it'd be a lung disease that makes you go on a ventilator. So I understand the fears, because I was there. I was on a ventilator, so I understand how fearful it is. You can watch my video from a couple of days ago. It was a frightening experience. So I can understand people not wanting to get sick, especially older people. But the world moves on, and the times are changing, and things are different. I mean, obviously, people are going to have to be more socially distanced from one another, and also people are going to be more aware of viruses and not wanting to be so out there as far as touching and running around and feeling and all this other stuff. So anyway, I believe that there's a tremendous opportunity right now to take a position with these cryptocurrencies, and it's always the darkest of times when the most. It's never when you sell something, it's when you buy it, when you make the money. And always at the darkest times is when you should be buying. And of course, like I've been saying this whole video, these are pretty dark times. And obviously it'll turn around. I think in a year from now, you could see something really big. And you can see things really happening, because I do think it'll turn around. And I do think as the world is, things will be better in a year, and things will be better in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years. And this is a point in time where we will all look back and be able to share our experiences about how bad it was and how scary it was. But then in retrospect, look back and say, you know what, we got through it, and look how good it got on the other side. So hang in there. I know it will get better. This thing will turn around, of course, we will continue to build the challenge application, and I will continue to make these videos. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, especially about the challenge application. And like I said, Bitcoin, I think, is a very good value right now. EOS is an incredible value right now. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.